heard a positive note about you personally in that you're involved with animal rescue, dog rescue.
Cool.
I
Yeah.
work with Russell Rescue, so I'd be
Oh, great.
interested in your take on your pit bull.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm a big animal lover. There's so many charities out there that you kind of got to choose what you want to do. And I spend so much time in the ocean and involved with wildlife, and coming from Africa, and that's what I really miss is the wildlife. I miss going out into the bush and seeing lions and rhinos and all that kind of stuff, because it really humbles you, especially if you're on foot. If any of you ever get to Africa and get a chance to do a safari, do it on foot. You have a game ranger in front and a game ranger at the back with rifles, and you walk through that bush. And it's kind of like I've always said about hunters. If you want to go hunt a lion, okay, go hunt a lion, but take a bow and arrow and go hunt a lion.
Yeah.
Don't take a rifle that you can shoot him at,
Yeah.
from 2,000 feet, because it's not hunting.
Yeah,
You go one-on-one with that lion, because when you're standing next to a lion, which I have, I mean, I'm 6 foot tall, and he comes up to here, and he's just standing normally, and they have heads that big.
Yeah, they do.
Because we always see lions from a distance, and you don't realize how big they are. Their paws are like that. So yeah, I mean, I grew up, with animals. And then when I got to LA, they had such a huge problem there with dogfighting. I had 2 British Bull Terriers. I still have one. I had the mother who lived till she was 12, and I have the son now who's 14 years old, and I helped give birth to him, you know what I mean? So he's my son. And I love the terriers because I just like they're kind of like Val. They're like really sweet dogs. They really are very sweet, but they can be completely vicious, when they handled incorrectly. And I got involved with a company called Karma Rescue, which rescues pit bulls from dogfighting specifically. And it's a huge problem in Los Angeles. And what we did, also through the Humane Society last year, we got the bill passed about spaying and neutering, which is that's the bottom line. That has to be number one because there are so many, it's the same as kids, there's so many unwanted...
I definitely agree. I don't think that's what it
That's why I don't have kids. There's so many unwanted animals, and it's very funny. So, yeah, I have been neutered. There's so many unwanted animals, and to imagine somebody going into a pet shop and paying $3,000 for a puppy is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You can go get that same beautiful thoroughbred animal from a rescue center for nothing, and you're giving an animal a home. Because if you don't give that animal a home, after a certain amount of time, it's going to be put down. So, I totally believe in the spaying and neutering stuff, because once that's in place, which it is now, that will stop people just mating and mating the animals, not mating the animals for money, to sell puppies, and puppy mills, stopping all puppy mills and that. And so eventually over the years, there should be less and less animals in shelters. But so it's got to start somewhere. So yeah, I mean, we go in, what happens is police will go into, for whatever reason, go and arrest people at a house, and there'll be pit bulls there, because 90% of the animals in LA, in East LA and all of that are pit bulls, because they're used for fighting or they're used for bait dogs. The police will then call Karma Rescue and say, this is the address, there's 2 dogs there, or there's puppies, and Karma Rescue will just go into those neighborhoods, and it's very dangerous because you're going into a house, you have no police protection, and right next door to those people who have just been arrested could be their best friends. So you got to go in there like very discreetly and quietly and take those animals. And the only time you can take those animals away is when the people have been arrested. You're not allowed to go into someone's house and take an animal away. They can actually take you to court and they'll win, because that's their dog. Even if you see the dog is suffering and in pain, you're not allowed to go into their private property and take an animal unless they've been arrested. So we go and take the animals, take them back to Karma Rescue, and then they go through training with a guy called Brandon Bushy, who is a dog whisperer, the same as Cesar Chavez. They used to work together. So the dog will spend 3 months with Brandon, getting his mind right, and becoming a dog again, and becoming a pet. and then he comes back to Karma Rescue and then starts getting put out for adoption. So none of the animals are let go at adoptions until they've been through all that training, because it really is you're dealing with a scarred animal that's been through a lot. And I mean, there's been crazy things. I mean, guys take scissors and clip their ears. You know, they cut the dog's ears. They don't even bandage it up. You know, you see all of that. It's terrible. Just the other day, we got 5 puppies that were left by a trash can. You know? 5 beautiful little red pit bull terriers. They're 5 weeks old. And they're going to be the most amazing dogs. And all of them, there's not one of those animals that have been through the training haven't turned out to be such an amazing dog. Because you can take anything. You can take a human being, the nicest person, tie him up to a pole and not feed him for 3 weeks and hit him every day, and he's going to become a maniac. You know? And that's what they do. They keep the animals in cages, they don't feed them, and yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. So, you know, you just try and do what you can do. And Karma Rescue has a policy, and a lot of the rescue organizations now, they do not put animals down at all. Karma Rescue at the moment has 60 animals, and it costs like $30,000 a month to look after them. But they will not put an animal down, and they will not send it to like the LA shelter. If they go to the LA shelter gives them about a week until they put them down. You know? And I mean, I've seen them putting dogs down. LA puts down $50,000 a week in the shelters.
Wow.
And the way they do it is just, I'm not even going to tell you. So.
Well, even one of Michael Vick's dogs that made all the news, the dog has been certified as a service dog now.
Yeah.
He was a fighting pit.
Wow, that's
But
great.
he's trained. He's now...
It's amazing. You know what, the pit bulls are America's sweetheart dog. The pit bull is an American dog, and it's an amazing dog. You know, it's strong, he's intelligent, they're great with other animals, they're great with kids. But people don't know that because they have a bad rap. You know, it used to be German Shepherds and Rottweilers. They've all been through it, Dobermans. Now they're onto the pit bulls, you know, and any dog will bite anyone if it's threatened, whether it's a poodle or not. Little poodles and little miniature pinchers, they're far more aggressive. The smaller the dog, the more aggressive it is. It's kind of like people. You know? It's like, I go into a bar and I see like big 6'5" dudes who are like huge. Those aren't the guys you watch, man. You watch the little guy standing at the bar, because he's the one who's going to start the fight. You know? The big guy that's going to stop the fight.
Yeah.
So you got to be aware of that. Yeah, so Karma Rescue, and you know, they're on my website, and anyone wants to visit, you know, go to cliffsimon.com and just click on the link and go check them out. They're a great organization, and we work with companies on the East Coast as well. If guys on the East Coast have got too many dogs, they'll get hold of us and actually put dogs on a plane and send them to us. So, you know, all that stuff costs money. Yeah. And it's very satisfying work. Just like Michael Vick's dogs, when you see a dog that you think is completely finished, you know, anyone will say, you got to put this dog down because he's a killer. And you see the transformation and the change, it's quite amazing and it's quite satisfying. And going back to the kids things, is that you do that with kids as well. People do. Yeah. It's all about your environment. You become your environment, but you can't get out of that.